Welcome to the Founders Odyssey podcast, where we aim to create an environment where we are educating, inspiring, and creating support for you and all your founders out there. So today we are joined by Aaron. Aaron is a financial advisor at Oppenheimer & Co., focusing on working with entrepreneurs, executives, as well as individuals and families looking for unique strategies to grow their wealth. With a passion for helping others, investment strategies, and knowledge of the capital markets, Aaron is dedicated to working with you as his client, taking into consideration their individual resources, tax situation, risk tolerance, and estate plannings. Aaron works diligently to achieve each client's goals. Prior to working in the world of finance, Aaron made history when he played football at Tulane University. He became the first legally blind Division I athlete to play in a game and went on to become an NFL free agent. He now helps others, making a large impact on their lives by replicating that same dedication and commitment that he showed playing football and into his years of now into his career of finance. So Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to getting to know you better, as well as our audience out there. How we doing?
Yeah, Nathan, first, thanks so much for having me. I'm doing really well and looking forward to being here today.
Absolutely. So let's dive into your story. That's one of the biggest things I think that people are wanting to hear, because what we try to do here is, like I said, inspire. And of course, we have education, but we really want our people to understand what it really takes in order to get to that next level. Okay. So tell me about your next level, your story from the beginning here, and some of the trials that you went through as you were starting your athletic journey.
Yeah, man. So I was born legally blind. And for me, that means I have no vision in my right eye and very limited in my left. And growing up, I was never the most athletic kid, really, was not good at most sports that I played. I tried everything. And I started playing football in 7th grade. And at the time, I wasn't good. I was horrible. Not athletic, not the fastest, not the strongest. And that was all right, because at the time, it was about being a part of a team. And after a few years went by, I was a 3rd string junior varsity, offense and defensive lineman my sophomore year of high school. And I was just had enough. I was sick of it. And, if you're a sophomore in high school, and you're a 3rd string junior varsity athlete, you're probably not, playing in college, you're probably not making it too far. And I had enough, and I made a shift, and I made a decision. I said, I'm going to play Division I football. I don't care what anyone else thinks. And I found the position long snapping, and I realized if I got good enough, then I might have an opportunity. And from then on out, I got up at 5 a.m. every day, practiced long snapping, went to school, went to practice with my team, lifted weights every single evening. And that's what I did for the next 3 years, because I knew what I had to do to be successful. Eventually, I got an opportunity to play at Tulane, and in my senior year was named a team captain, went on to become an NFL free agent. And, like you said before, now I'm in the world of finance. I'm a speaker and, have a lot going on. And, obviously there's more details to that story, but that's kind of the, 1,000-foot overview.
Let's talk about that time where you had to make that shift in your mindset. I truly believe that when you make a shift, your world can change. Yeah. It can change for the negative. It can change for the positive. So let's walk us through that shift and what did it mean for you?
And it comes down to, what do you want in your life? What do you truly have that you want? What are your goals? What is your commitment level? And for me, I didn't enjoy being an unathletic kid, being a not confident kid, being someone who wasn't where he wanted to be. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to accomplish goals. I wanted to be the best athlete that I could possibly be. And for me, that shift was, if I want to be as good as anyone else around me, I need to work 10 times harder than them. And that's just a philosophy I've taken in life because of my vision. And so for me, what it was is get up at 5 and snap. Do it when no one else is around. After practice, go lift weights when no one else is around. Because I had to have that commitment, that consistency. I think so many people within athletics, within life, within entrepreneurship, within business, there's 2 things that separate people. A, your discipline and consistency, and who is willing to do the boring shit every single day when no one wants to do it. And secondly, your competitiveness. How badly do you want it? Do you want it even more than anyone else around you? Because the people who are the most competitive win.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. So tell me a little bit about, how that's transferred into your business life and some of the steps that you're moving forward. I really want to dive into that as well, and then we'll come back to a little bit more of
Yeah.
your story because I think more people need to hear about what it really took you to go from, being legally blind to then getting to the next step. So touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. Business is hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. Building something isn't easy. And I think so many people have this idea in their heads that being an entrepreneur, being a founder, being an owner is the cool thing to do, is the easy thing to do. And that's just not true at all. You know, most people aren't cut out to be a business owner. Most people aren't cut out to be an entrepreneur. And that's all right. That's totally fine. There's so many different types of people in the world, and you don't need to build your own thing. But for me, I absolutely love it. I love finding ways to bring in clients. I love finding ways to book new opportunities, to build a business, to build something long lasting, incredible, that's going to build a legacy for me and impact the lives of so many other people. And it comes down to those same pain points. It's, what is my competitiveness? I know that I'm going to beat out everyone else around me. Now, it might not happen overnight. It might not happen a year from now or 2 years from now. But when you look back at it 5, 10 years down the line, I'm going to be the number one person in both of the industries that I work in. And that also breaks down to the consistency and the discipline. Every single day, I do the little things that I don't want to do. I do the small tasks that are boring. I do the outreach. I do the research. I do what I don't want to do when people don't expect me to do it. Because even though, I don't make millions of dollars right now, in 5, 10 years, I will, because I'm willing to put in the work and be competitive.
That's good. So anyone out there listening to this is just put in that work and just keep on going day by day, doing the small incremental things that will initially lead you to your overall success. Let's touch on, like I said, let's touch on that story of yours. I want to know a little bit more about you and about how that really there's a lot of struggles you've gone through.
Yeah.
So those struggles now have translated into a very ambitious, committed, dedicated Aaron. And I want our audience to start feeding off a little bit of that energy of your own personal story. So share a little bit deeper into that.
Absolutely. There's struggles, and everyone has their own challenges, their own obstacles. And, for me, it was growing up being legally blind. It caused me to set myself behind athletically, set myself behind with confidence, set myself behind in a lot of areas. But to be honest with you, I don't look at it as a struggle. And I say this all the time when I talk at events and to companies, I'm so thankful and blessed that I was born legally blind. And if I could go back and give myself full sight at birth, I wouldn't do that. Because if I wasn't born legally blind, I wouldn't have been meeting the amazing people I've met, done the incredible things I've done, and impacting the people that I impact. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And so because of that, yeah, you could consider it a struggle or a challenge. But I'm so thankful every single day that I was born with the vision that I have, because it's allowed me to do so many things and help so many people.
I'm grasping from this, you're grateful. And gratitude plays a major factor in every aspect of life. No matter if you're building a large company or, you're doing just the day-to-day things, right? You need to be grateful for the car that you drive, the relationships that you're building, every little thing. So it resonates with me, but also hopefully with the audience out there, that as you're going through these struggles, keep in mind that it's not a comparison game, but it's those grateful times and opportunities where, you can really look at what you have to then create momentum.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your perspective of mindset shifts, right?
Yep.
And really, because that's what it is, I'm hearing perspective from you. So tell us more about your perspective.
Yeah. So I want to get into that. I want to make one comment on the grateful thing real quick, if you don't mind. I actually was talking to a company yesterday, and one person asked me at the end, how do you deal with frustration in business? And my answer was gratitude. And it's because you can't be grateful and frustrated at the same time. And if you can focus on what you're grateful for and step away and separate the emotion from that situation and think logically, then you'll have a much greater chance of winning. So anytime anyone out there is frustrated in business and life, focus on what you're grateful for. But now getting into my perspective, how you think of things, what you believe, what you want is what attracts to you. And so people who go into life, who go through life, through business, through relationships, thinking negatively, thinking they're going to fail, thinking this is going to be hard, guess what happens? Negative things happen. They fail. Things are hard. That's just what you think of comes to you. When you go through life, when you go through business, when you go through relationships, understanding that positive things will happen, success will come. There's enough success and abundance for everyone in the world. Guess what will come to you? Success, abundance, positivity. And so people need to understand that. People need to realize that there's no need to be negative, to think things are hard. Yeah, you might fail. Everyone fails. I fail every single day in different ways. But you know what? Failure is not failure to me unless you don't learn from it. So many people have this idea, and it's something that was wired into our brains from childhood and school and the education system, but they have this idea that failure is bad. They have this idea that you have to be a perfectionist, and that's not true. The real truth to it is that, failure is a good thing if you learn from it. And if you fail once, twice, 3 times, and you learn from it, guess what? Those failures led to your success. Now, if you fail 27 times and you can't change it, then that's a different issue, and you need to dig deeper and figure out how you can succeed. But if you're failing a few times at something and you learn from it and you succeed, that's such a good thing. I love when people fail and then they learn from it. I never want to hire someone or work with someone who, what's your biggest strength? Oh, I'm a perfectionist. That's not attractive to me.
When you're at that precipice or the Y in the road where you've just made that failure, what do you use with failure? Is that a fuel for you? And then when you're at that Y, which side do you choose? Do you choose the side of negativity or positivity? And then what is failure to you? I know you've disclosed a little bit more about what it is, but failure to a lot of people can just really set them back 3 steps, right? Well, with some people like yourself, you take it in, what do you do?
Yeah, first off, always choose positivity. But I love failure. If I talk to a client tomorrow and they say, "Hey, Aaron, I don't want to work with you," or a prospect who I don't want to work with you, or a client leaves me, or an opportunity that I was talking to speaking says, we're going to pick someone else to speak at our event. Great, awesome, love that. Can you tell me why you don't want to work with me anymore, or why you choose that person? I don't mind. I just want to learn from it. I'm like, I genuinely don't care. If I fail, I don't care at all, because other people's opinions don't affect me. I could do a speech to a company and someone could come up to me and say, I thought that was the worst speech ever. I'd say, awesome, cool. Can you tell me why you thought that so I can improve for next time? Their words, their beliefs do not affect me in the slightest. And when you can separate others' opinions, others' judgment from what you're doing, then you'll win, then you'll succeed. But you need to have this idea and have this concept that failure is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because it just creates learning areas for you. And when you can build up those learning areas, then you'll succeed.
An impenetrable shield is how I like to look at it. Of you have all these things that are coming at you constantly, right? Customers, negativity, negative thoughts within yourself, and you've got to put that shield up, because as founders and as entrepreneurs, we do things that nobody does, really. And that's why this community exists, to create that shield, to create the support, and I'm just so happy you're here. So let's dive into where you're at now, what you're excited about within the financial industry, though, and then really some of the things that excite you by being able to tap into that, right? Those failures that you've had, and now the momentum that it's creating in your life and then for others.
Yeah. Sorry. Grab a sip of water. I don't know what. That's okay. Guess I just learned that I need to drink more water. So, obviously I can't dive too deep into the finance stuff because of compliance. However, my biggest thing there is I truly enjoy helping others. I truly enjoy making an impact on their lives and taking someone's situation and figuring out, what can I do to help you succeed? You're down here. How can we get you up here? What can we do to help you improve? And that's what's important to me. The important thing for me is helping others and making an impact. And that's just always my number one goal every single day.
Where did that come from? Did that come from, your family, or was that through just certain things that you see? Because not everybody has that specific DNA that's
Yeah.
been, embedded or
Yeah.
baked into them. So tell us a little bit about that really desire to truly help people.
Look, at the end of the day, I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't want to make an absurd amount of money. Trust me, I have very high ambitions and I want to be extremely, extremely wealthy. And any entrepreneur who says they don't care about money is lying to you. It's in every entrepreneur's top three things, but it can never be your number one. There has to be another reason that you're doing something if you want to truly be successful. And mine is helping others and making an impact. Mine is, I know that if I continue down the path that I continue, if I add value to others every single day, if I do what I can to reach out to people, to help them, to provide that value on a daily basis, guess what? I won't be worrying about money, and money will follow. I don't care about how much I worded that wrong for a second, but I want to give the most impact because I understand that if I give a ton of impact, eventually the money will follow. And too many people are focused on how can I make a sale today? How can I make more money today? That's the wrong way to think about it. If you instead focus on how can I help and impact a few more people today, eventually you'll make the money and you'll make a lot more of it.
Impact equals income.
Yep.
Always think impact first. This is really good. So let's go a little bit down the road of, we've got a founder out there. Talk to this person. We've got a founder out there. They haven't quite gotten to where they want to go. They've had some failures and now they're feeling down. What do you say to them?
I'd say get up and keep trying. There's always a way to accomplish your goal, no matter what it looks like right now. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every business idea is a good idea and every business will succeed, because that's not true. And eventually, if you're doing something for years on end and you're not seeing results, then maybe you do need to make a shift. Maybe you need to start a new business. Maybe you need to come up with a new idea, and that's okay. But especially if you're in the beginning and you haven't seen success and you've been doing it for, let's just say, a month. The issue with most people, especially millennials, people my age and your age these days, are they have shiny object syndrome, and they do something for 3 weeks and they don't make $10,000, and they're like, oh, off to the next thing. I'm going to try e-commerce. I'm going to try drop shipping. I'm going to try selling a course. Like, people don't stay in business and entrepreneurship long enough to see the results. It takes years sometimes. It takes months. It takes hard work. And just so many people get wrapped up in what's the next shiny thing they think they're going to make a ton of money on. And that's just not how you focus and win.
Talk to me and the audience out there about the way to structure your financial health better, and how, when you start to see quote unquote success financially, what are some of the key things that you would like to educate on?
Yeah. It's separating different buckets for yourself. What do you need in the short term? What do you need in the midterm? What do you need in the long term? And that allows you to, take a bucket and invest it and put it in areas and asset classes that are truly going to appreciate and bring you that long-term wealth. That allows you to have a short-term fund for your business expenses, for your living expenses, for things that you're going to need, in the next 1 to 3 to 4 months. And then it also allows you to have, some funds there in the middle. What are you going to need within this next 6 to 12 months that you don't need now, but you want to put aside because you think in 6 months you need to get a new car, or you're trying to buy a house, or you're whatever it may be, those funds that you need.
Let's talk about assets. Let's talk about certain investments at this moment. I know that that's what you do, right? And you're researching, you're looking at the industries, you're seeing what is shaping up to be good investments and bad investments. So let's talk about that.
So I really can't dive into that at all because of compliance. However, do your research, talk to an advisor, talk to someone who does it for a living. They can really help you. If people reach out to me, I'm happy to chat, but I unfortunately am not allowed to dive into that on a podcast like this.
Not a problem. Well, I mean, this has been really good, just getting to know you personally a little bit better, and then, hearing your story. Uh, what else would you like to share with the audience out there about yourself and about, like your next steps here, your kind of your
Yeah.
future? Let's talk about
Yeah.
your future. Let's talk about what really excites you about that.
Yeah. Look, I think the biggest piece of advice I could give anyone is that the impossible is possible. It doesn't matter what your dream is. If you work hard enough, if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything that you want. You truly can. For me, I have several goals. I want to build insanely profitable businesses that impact millions of lives. I want to be one of the top speakers in the world, speaking on stage at, Tony Robbins conferences, at Grant Cardone's 10X event, at things like that. I want to be able to impact so many people. And I know that will happen. It's not I want to, it's when that happens, and that will happen. And it's because I have enough belief in myself that it will happen. And I just want to urge so many people out there, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're just working a regular job and you have ambitions of building relationships or getting the body of your dreams or getting healthier, you can do it. Just put in that time, put in that effort, and believe in yourself, because it is possible. It might not happen overnight. It might take some time, but keep going.
The motivation is very relevant right now, and I can sense it. I can feel it through the screen, through the airwaves here, and I hope everybody out there can feel it as well. Aaron has done a wonderful job. I kind of need to go do some push-ups. I'm feeling some push-ups right now, some burpees. And for all the founders out there, just keep going. I think that is what he's saying. He's keep going, create momentum through gratitude, continue to push, persevere through dedication, commitment, set your goals. Let's talk a little bit about goals, because of course you wouldn't have been where
Yeah.
you were, or have what you've gotten so far without setting those specific types of goals. Everybody has their own type of way they do it, but let's really dive into what your perspective of goals are, and how you're implementing that into your life.
Yeah, look, everyone has to have long-term goals. I have goals of I want to grow my business to X side. I want to speak on stage with, those types of people that I mentioned. And those will happen, but those are long-term things. Those are, 5 years down the road. And so those aren't things that I focus on a daily basis. The way I structure my goals is on a 90-day basis, and I do it at the beginning of every quarter. What can I get done during this quarter to move the needle forward? What are my top 3, top 5 goals that I can accomplish this quarter? And then once I come up with those, once I really do the deep work and figure out what do I want to get done within my business, within my life, within my relationships, within my fitness, then I break it down to monthly segments. And so at the beginning of each month, I figure out what are the daily non-negotiables that I have to do every single day this month to get me close to that goal. And I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I literally check boxes every single day of things personal and business-wise that I need to do. Beginning of the week, I plan out my week. I figure out how am I going to get closer this week. And every single day, in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the evening, I'm reviewing, did I get close to my goal? Did I get close to my goal? Did I get close to my goal? What did I accomplish? And when you have that level of awareness, when you have that level of you're willing to check in with yourself that often, you're much more likely to accomplish it. 99% of people set goals in the beginning of January, look back at them in December and say, wow, I didn't do any of these. Really? You're surprised? Yeah, you didn't set a plan. You didn't take action on that plan. You didn't have a specific detailed strategy that you checked in on multiple times a day to see how you were improving on that goal. And so when you do that, life becomes so much simpler. Success becomes so much simpler. Your goals that you have might not be nearly as hard to accomplish as you think they are if you truly break it down to that formula.
And as we enter into almost the new year here, it's coming soon. What goals do you guys have out there? How are you going to approach them? Will you use a check sheet, just like what we have here, Aaron is described? Will you use an accountability partner, accountability group, mentors to hold you accountable? Really, that's the next step, is holding yourself accountable first and then reaching out for help. We just had a different podcast guest on. Andy Smith was great. He was talking about setting your pride aside and looking at ways that you can ask for help, and not, and really it's just opening up and being willing to be taught and also be willing to receive. Let's talk a little bit about that, Aaron. As you're setting these goals, as you're going through these successes and failures, how has it shaped your perception of, who you are, but then also how you can still receive feedback from others?
Everyone needs feedback. Everyone needs help. Everyone needs mentors. Everyone needs coaching. Anyone who ever tells you they achieved all their success on their own is lying to you. I pay lots of money to coaches, to consultants, to people out there who are further along in business than I am to shorten the time frame. If I can pay someone X amount of money to get to something, to accomplish a goal in 5 months that should have taken me 5 years, I'm going to do it. If I can pay someone X amount of money to accomplish something in 1 week that should have taken me 1 month or 1 year, I'm going to do it, because time is money. Money isn't real. The biggest asset that everyone has is their time. You can never get that back. That's my most valuable asset. But money is fake. Money doesn't mean anything. It's literally just a number in your bank account. But if you can use money, if you can use your finances to give you back your time, to help you proceed in business, to proceed in life at a much quicker pace, then you can make more money. You can make more relationships. You can do better in business. You can help more people. And that's a huge concept that more people should understand.
So good. What's your future here hold, and will you be speaking on any stages coming up? Because if you are, please let us know.
Yeah, so I had a virtual speech on Tuesday, I had an in-person one yesterday, and I have a virtual one today. So I have a lot of different companies and organizations bringing me in to speak all the time. It's a lot of fun. And 2022 is going to be a big year for that. Honestly, it took some time to dial in my system of how I was reaching out to people, how I was doing it, but I have it so systemized now and so automated to the point where it's killing it, honestly, for me. The amount of messages I'm able to send out on a daily basis through the platform that I built to, get my name out there to these companies, to these events. And, things are just lining up to the point where I'm really excited for 2022. There's going to be a lot of big things happening in all areas of my life. And I just can't wait to use that to be able to help so many people and impact them. It amazes me. Yesterday I spoke, it was in person in their office, but it was broadcasted to their other offices across the country and across Europe. And in total, it was, 500 or 600 people, including virtual and in person. And the fact that I can go speak for an hour and impact over 500 people is amazing. And I just love that.
Yes, being grateful for just the little things that turn into these big things. And that's exactly what's happening for yourself. I just love to hop on that momentum and the value that you're providing others. And I'm just, like I said, thankful and grateful for you to be able to be on the podcast here, speak with our audience as well, and grace us with your presence. We want to be here to help support you in any way we can, from booking you to speaking on stages. Everyone out there, Aaron he's got this mission. He will succeed. He is successful, right? In your own eyes, and right, that's how you create your momentum. But we're excited to be there to support you in every way possible.
No, thank you. Thank you. And if I can ever help anyone, reach out to me. My website is aarongollub.com. My email is aaron@aarongollub.com. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. And, I'll do what I can to help.
Great. Well, hey, we would just want to thank you, everybody out there, for joining us on the Founders Odyssey podcast, where we look to educate, inspire, and create a supportive community for you founders out there. And until next time, we're excited. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share this with your friends. We'll talk to you soon.